Alrighty. I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna pull this closed, guys. Thank you all for being here today. Like genuinely, I really appreciate it. It's a Friday. It's beautiful outside. I really did not expect to see many people today, so thank you guys. I promise, because it's a Friday and it's beautiful outside, I will try to make this quick. I promise. Today, I do like to get our new agents together for our KWB Keys to Success, which was previously known as orientation. If that's how you guys got a text message and you're like, "What the heck is that?" Sorry, it did used to be called orientation. But today's class is us actually just focusing in a little bit deeper on kwbresources.com, which is our office website. So it's just going to explain to you guys where a few more of those additional resources live so that you can easily access them anytime that you need to. So we're at that website right now, kwbresources.com. If you're in person with me today, you're more than welcome. Obviously, if you have a laptop and you prefer to follow along, that works. If you'd rather just kind of sit back and watch, I'm fine with that too. Whatever works best for your learning style is great with me. So if it's all right with you guys, we'll go ahead and dive a little bit deeper. So the very first thing that I like to showcase on kwbresources.com is actually this new agent button because I do think it's very helpful to you guys. It's going to pull a lot of helpful information together under one umbrella for you. And I also should mention that there are several different ways to get to this information on our website. So if I'm kind of showing you a complicated route, which I'm going to try not to do, but if I am, there's probably an easier route somewhere else on the page as well. But my intention is to show you just the easiest ways to navigate to this info. But on the left-hand side where you see getting started, if we were to select learn more, it does take us to a quick little checklist that will walk us through the onboarding process. And normally when we're looking at because everybody in this room at least has gone through the onboarding, I do like to look at those things you can do immediately. You can ignore the bottom one. That is actually for our previous office park. We do not have any parking passes for this office park here. But we will be exploring the website together today, taking a look at the office calendar today. We're also going to talk a little bit more about Ignite, which, for those of you who do not know, it is going to be a very powerful program for our newer agents, very helping you guys to build a really strong foundation in about 20 sessions. Our top producers from this same market and from our market center are going to be pouring into you guys about exactly what they do in the business so that you guys can take away some key insights and really learn the ropes. It's also just going to give you, again, more resources and more relationships to lean into, which is never a bad thing. So we'll talk a little bit more about that. We just actually announced the new dates for Ignite, which is very exciting. We do have a few key Facebook groups that I will mention to you today, and then attending office meetings, which clearly y'all have no problem with that. So thank you. I appreciate it. We're going to hop out of this little checklist item here, but it is great for no matter where you might be at that process, even if it's I've officially onboarded. Now, what's next? There's lots of great info on that sheet. To the right hand side under basic training, if we were to select learn more here, it actually takes us to the Scott Leroy Marketing website. For those of you who do not recognize that name or think that you might, but can't remember why, they are the team that are going in and creating all of your KW technology. So you guys should be somewhat familiar with them already. And if you have not yet received your technology, again, it usually takes only a few business days to get that information. So it should be with you very shortly. But while we are looking at their website, I like to show you guys a couple things because I don't want people thinking, okay, well, Scott Leroy set up my technology and that's all they do. There's a lot more that they can do to assist you guys in your business. So if you're not familiar with them, just a couple things to point out because I don't want to take too much time on this site. First of all, there is a wonderful search bar right there, easily accessible. That way you guys can search for key information and it's just easier to find. But what else I like to point out as well, and I'm going to pull this out of the way here, is I like to point out that there's a login button on the top right. If you guys click log in, it will ask you for our market center number. You'll see it saved in for us on this computer, but our market center number is 350. You will be asked for that information periodically in your time here. So 350 is going to be the number associated with this office. And then you'll see that probably many more times in your stay with us. So while we're looking at this field, I'm going to go ahead and hit log in. And what should happen is you should see that top section of those tabs expand here. So now we've got some additional options up there. And the reason for that is it's recognizing our paid partnership as your market center, and it's now allowing you guys access to additional information. So be aware that the Scott Leroy team is somebody else that you can lean into for additional resources with your KW technology. I like to point out that under agent resources, there's a couple different items. One is training. If we go over actually to training calendar, this would take us to their live training calendar, and we'll look at that momentarily. But for those of us also who might be dual career, or maybe we just got more complicated schedules, or we're out sick one day, because that's okay too. There is going to be a channel of recorded training classes that you can access from this drop down as well. So just be aware. Maybe you can't hop on the call live, but you can still watch that recording when you need to. Going to their training calendar though, I always like to point out that you're going to see from Monday through Friday, the Scott Leroy team offers live tech trainings, usually 1 to 2 o'clock in the afternoon through Zoom, and they change up the topics that they speak on every single day. So this way for you guys, again, if you've got a slightly more complex schedule and it's just difficult to make our tech classes in the office work for you, this is another resource that maybe you're off every single Friday. And if you're off every single Friday, that's a really great opportunity because you can get that information when it works for you. The other thing I like to point this out for is that in reference to timely information, if you guys are ever looking to learn about how to do a Facebook ad and maybe you've got a listing that's coming up here shortly, but you don't think that Jules and Leah are covering that in the next few weeks, you don't see it on the calendar, I don't want that to mean that you guys just have to wait to figure out how to do a Facebook ad for the next listing that you take. We want you guys to get that information in a timely manner so you can reference those recorded trainings that Scott Leroy has. You can also come over here and supplement your tech training by trying to see if they have a live class on the same topic. So be aware, it's very easy. All you have to do is click on the topic and then it will specify a little more detail there and give you the registration link to join. So very, very easy to hop on those calls. If you guys wanted like a full breakdown of those trainings, they do publish lists for the entire month that you can reference. Just make sure you're grabbing the Eastern time. And then you'll also find under agent resources, I won't click on it today, but there are going to be different agent support and marketing support features that they have to offer, kind of concierge, if you will. And they are fantastic because they're offering a lot of this stuff to you guys for free. And I think that not enough of our agents honestly know that. So I like to make sure that you guys do as your new agent group coming in, because I know that starting out, you guys probably don't have any leverage already built into the business. I don't have somebody who's going to go do that for me. I am all the things right now. And that's okay. Everybody has to start somewhere. So if you are feeling like I am all the things, know that Scott Leroy is out here offering free concierge services. So at no expense to you, you guys can reach out to them and get some further assistance. They're not going to be able to do everything. I'll admit that. But you will be able to explore those services at your leisure. That is my homework for everybody in this class, just because we don't quite have the time to do all that today. But please explore those concierge services, find out what they can do for you, because that can be kind of your hidden secret of how you're able to do it all in those first few weeks, first few months that you guys are getting started. So be aware they're out here for you. And lastly, I always take a look at the store option. This is one I typically will click on for you guys. By clicking on store, it will take us to agentstore.com. Typically speaking, one of the most common questions I get when you guys are brand new is about business cards. Obviously, you're looking to spread the word, which is great. So when it comes to the business cards, a website I always recommend is Agent Store. The reason for that is they not only offer a competitive price point, but they also offer pre-done templates where I think they have like 32 different options, and you are able to do something actually very nice with that as well and still kind of set yourself apart with it. So keep it in mind. Obviously, nobody's glued to agentstore.com. You're welcome to go through Vistaprint or Canva and make something really, really, really unique. But agentstore.com is highly recommended for the templates and for the cost. And Another note to make while we're looking at this is for my provisional brokers. If you are a provisional broker in the state of North Carolina, meaning you have not yet completed the post licensing, you are required to get business card approval by Tasha Viney or Sharon Martin. They are both our business or our BIC associates. So please reference them, get them to look over your design because it is a requirement to make sure you have all the legal information that you need and nothing that you shouldn't on that card. But they should be able to take a look at that design, give you the thumbs up, and then you can place your order. So that's agent store. As we scroll a little bit further, coming back to just the kind of that new agent section, we're going to stumble across all of those Facebook groups that I recommended or at least referenced earlier. The top two are ones managed by our office, and the other are two additional recommended pages. The first that we're looking at is actually an internal Facebook page for all of KW Ballantyne. This is the one that I talked to you guys about when we do your onboarding together. This is the one that I email to you right away so that you can start being in collaboration with other agents. But please take advantage of that page, guys. It's a great little kind of easy spot to land where you can find updates and kind of keep a pulse on what's going on in the market center because I'm talking about the upcoming trainings and events for our office. You're also able to see other agents communicating with each other, asking questions. Hey, I don't have a referral partner out in Atlanta, but I need one. Oh, I'll call James. That's great. And so if I don't, though, or maybe I'm looking for a vendor in another area, maybe my normal guy just can't go all the way out to Lincolnton. So then you can go ahead and ask, hey, has anybody worked with a home inspector that will service that area? People will screenshot contacts out of their phone to help you out. So just be aware. It's a great space for you guys to ask questions, get your foot in the door, maybe even say, hey, I'm a new agent. I would love to hold an open house. Please, think of me or give me a quick text if you've got something coming up that you'd like me to help out with. It's an easy way. People are always looking for opportunities on that page. After that, we also will see that there is a vendor Facebook page as well. On our Facebook page, for our vendor partners, here at Ballantyne, we do have a preferred vendor program. And I say that because not all KW offices do. So this office does. And what that means for us is that as you guys as agents are interacting with phenomenal vendors that you're like, they are just amazing. I really loved working with them. My life was so much easier because of it. Great product, great service, all the things, right? In those instances, we want you guys to recommend that vendor to us. Let us know about them because what we'll do is we'll connect with them. We'll talk to them a little bit more about our vendor program. They can essentially pay for the year to be part of this program after getting a referral from an agent in our office. They can pay to be part of the program where they're able to come in and sponsor different events. They're able to come in and chat with you guys, get to mingle with you guys. They're able to provide lunch. Just in case y'all did not know, there's a lot of Chick-fil-A in the kitchen. Make sure you grab some. I'm telling you, I will go fast just so you can get some. Unless y'all want to go grab some and come back. But yes, so there's a lot that our vendor partners are fantastic for, and it's just an arsenal of great contacts and resources for you guys as well. So as you're working with fantastic vendors, let us know because that's exactly what it takes to build this program. Is you just have to be vetted by another Ballantyne agent, and then you have to obviously say yes that you're interested in this win-win partnership. So very, very excited about that. This Facebook group is a great way for you guys to get in touch with some of those vendor partners as well. Just another way of connecting with them. And then they'll be posting about the upcoming promotions that they're offering, new services that they're doing. Great ways to get connected. After that, there is a Charlotte Area Realtor Network Facebook page connecting you with other agents in the city, not specific to a brokerage. And then KW Carolinas region, which will cover North and South Carolina KW offices. I believe there's about 43 or so of us. So this is a great way for you guys to get connected with some of those other KW agents out there. Maybe you have some clients that are considering moving out to the beach, retiring that way, and you're just not licensed, or you are licensed in the state, but you don't have the MLS access. It's another great way for you guys to maybe have a way of referring that to someone you can trust. You're not exclusively told that you must partner with KW agents. Let me be very clear about that. It's just a suggestion in case you're interested. That's a great way to do it. We also, through the region, offer additional training opportunities. So you have what's available to you through our office, but on top of that, the region brings in some really exciting speakers and opportunities. So be aware, guys, there's lots more that you can be doing on top of what's even in this office. You guys can even travel around for it. Again, building that networking opportunity, getting the tax write-off for that little mini vacation. Like none of this sounds bad to me. So just keep it in mind and also be aware for KW Carolinas region. They have some upcoming events actually in May, including our Culture Summit. If you guys are interested at all in attending the Culture Summit, it is available to you for free. It will be on May 19th. May 19th. I was like, it's either the 19th or it's the 19th, May 19th. And you guys can find it on the calendar. And if you can't, shoot me an email and I can give you all the details you need. But it's free, lots of fun. The next is colorisms. This is just breaking down the terminology that's unique to KW. You're going to hear some words and you're like, yeah, no, that doesn't exist outside of those doors. And that's very likely the case. So if you are trying to decipher what language you're hearing and interpret what it means, colorisms will break down every term unique to KW and then give you a real world definition to go with it. After that, we do stumble across some of your on-demand resources. This one actually I introduced to you guys when we're communicating, when we do our meeting together. This is for KW Command and similar technology. If you guys are struggling at all with it, have questions, get stuck, there is a website called answers.kw.com that you can visit and you can search keywords related to whatever you may be working on and helpful articles pop right up. So a great resource to have. And very similarly, just know that there is a sister website called ideas.kw.com, which is built for your feedback about Command. So whether you've been with another brokerage or you're brand new, we obviously want to make sure Command is an efficient tool for your business. So if you guys ever have suggestions, you're welcome to share them on ideas.kw.com and you very well might see them come to life, which is pretty cool. Underneath, you'll find that there is access to the Ignite materials. If you guys would like, you're welcome obviously to get that information here, but otherwise, if you attend Ignite, I will email everybody the materials. So you'll have everything that you need ahead of your arrival. Underneath is an access to our training calendar. I don't think this is the easy way, like I mentioned earlier, so we're not going to do it together. We're going to go the easy way in a little bit. And then scheduling a conference room. So as many of you guys have probably noticed, we do have 5 different conference rooms in our office and 2 different focus rooms. So if ever you're looking for a little more privacy, then maybe the hub has to offer out here. I totally understand. Obviously, maybe we don't want to have that doctor phone call out here in the middle of everything. So in that event, guys, if you're looking for more private space, the focus rooms and conference rooms are great environments and they are free for you to reserve. Conference rooms, we do try to ask you guys to be mindful and use them only for collaborative efforts, whether it's you and another agent, you and your coach, you and some clients. Try to keep it in that more than one person realm because otherwise, if you're just looking for space just for yourself for a little bit to focus on your lead gen, we have focus rooms. Typically, if the store was not closed behind you guys, you'd be able to see right back to the back of the training room. Our focus rooms are just outside of that back exit, though, to the training room, and they are single desk office spaces that are just really nice, concise, cute, conveniently located, all the things. But they are fantastic because you guys can use them for 2 hours at a time, again, just to focus on what you might need to. Little hint, focus room 2 is going to be the better of the 2 rooms because it has a window, so you can actually get a view with your time in there. Focus room 1 is great, but like you're just kind of staring at a wall if you're like zoning out for it all. So just be aware. It's really easy for you guys to book those conference rooms. All we ask is for you guys to click this register button. You can also find it under the More tab under Schedule a Conference Room. If you guys go to it, it will take you to a website called Skeda. You do not already have an account, you will be asked to make an account, but no charge, no nothing. Just go ahead and tie it back to your KW email if that's the one you're using because it's easy to remember. And then when you log into that site, it should open up almost like an Excel spreadsheet. Down the left-hand side, you should see all the times available in the day. And up at the top, you'll see the conference rooms by name and the capacity that they hold because we know that you're not going to have the names memorized at first, and that's okay. But we don't want you to have a group of 8 and find out you booked a 4-person conference room. So this will help you guys out with that. And if you ever have difficulty doing that piece, let me know because I'm an admin on the page and I can help out. Outside of that, I'm going to take it. Oh, and one other thing you can do on that same website is you guys can also book the media room, the kind of that podcast studio that we have available. We just ask you to learn how to use the equipment before you start booking it. We'll talk a little bit more about that in a moment, but be aware that you can do all of that through that SCADA website. Under home, taking us right back to where we started, we are going to scroll a little bit past that new agent section and come across our wonderful leadership team. Hopefully you've met several of these wonderful people already, but if you have not, be on the lookout. They're in the halls, in their offices. They're kind of touring around the office and trying to make sure that everybody feels welcome, and we're all happy to answer questions. So don't be afraid to ask if you have any. Underneath, Leah, our marketing team specialist, she actually kind of sat down one day and she's like, man, I keep getting very similar questions in terms of intros to KW Tech and just how to do things. And she wanted to make it a lot easier for you guys to get that information when you needed it rather than like, okay, it's 8 o'clock at night. I don't know how to do that. I'm going to email Leah and like, hopefully she gets back to me tomorrow morning. Not sure. So she made these videos accessible at all times and they're really, really helpful. The bottom of the two actually is going to be great for you because it's going to introduce you guys how Command and DocuSign talk to each other. I will admit though, while we're talking about that video, we are switching electronic signature platforms officially. It's going to be called Lone Wolf Transact, which is being built specifically for Keller Williams. This is not a KW Ballantyne decision, if it helps. This is a Keller Williams decision. So we're switching things up just a little bit to this Lone Wolf Transact program. The exciting thing is it's being built specifically for us. So it's meant to mimic the functionalities of DocuSign and kind of get rid of some of those things we didn't like about DocuSign, i.e. like if you accidentally close out of the tab and it erased everything that you did, this one will auto save for you guys. It's crazy. So this is the conversation I wanted to bring to you guys is just be aware that DocuSign will be eventually going away. So as new agents, you have a couple options. Obviously, I think the best thing for you to do is probably get started training on that Lone Wolf side as soon as you can. When again, obviously you've got plenty of time, but as soon as you can, just because it's going to give you guys a leg up, you're going to have some comfort with it already by the time we're officially in Lone Wolf. For my DocuSign users, you guys are going to be transitioning over to Lone Wolf, so you're welcome to stick in DocuSign for a little bit longer, and then we'll announce more about final deadlines, but you guys do have several weeks, so please don't stress. But for those of us learning to try to do the contracts and forms electronically, we're switching to Lone Wolf. And actually, next Tuesday will be one of the first opportunities to learn about Lone Wolf more. So just be aware that that's happening. But again, if you are a DocuSign user and for whatever reason your accounts weren't already connected, that video will help out a lot with that piece. And just above that, we are also posting videos on how to submit commission requests. So one of the other things that Leah felt like was another common question was when you guys do officially go under contract on a property, we ask that you're submitting commission requests to the office because it allows us to know about the pending closing. Also, we know that you are expecting a commission check. So we would recommend that you watch that video because it will walk you through exactly what you need to do in commands in order to submit and complete that process when the time comes. She's walked you through it. Again, if you guys get stuck at any point, ask good questions. We're here to help. And Rob Miller, you can even book one-on-ones with him if you're having difficulty with that piece. So just keep it in mind. Again, just something that you can reference when you may need it, but how to submit commission requests will be applicable every time you guys go under contract. Underneath is access to our office calendar. Full disclosure, easiest way to get to this is to click office calendar at the top and it drags you to that section of the page. As we're looking at this calendar, I think if you guys remember, I am not a big fan of the way this looks right now. It's very crowded and I like to make things easier. So when I'm looking at this, my recommendation for you guys, if you are also bothered by how crowded it is you can click here for a full calendar view. By clicking on that button, it actually is just going to open this up and you'll see it's much wider now, so way easier for us to actually see what's on that calendar. And that's why I prefer this route. But it allows you guys to click on literally anything we ever have going on in the office, and then you can get a full description associated with that opportunity. So for those of you interested in where can I get plugged in, how can I start learning things, this calendar is going to be it. I post every single opportunity to this calendar. Some of those Carolinas regions trainings as well are coming back and landing on this calendar as well. So I try to just really build it out so that everything's in one place for you. But by clicking on anything that sounds exciting, you should get a full description to match. If you're realizing, okay, maybe this training is just not quite what I thought it was, that's okay. You don't have to attend it. But if it is something that you're like, oh my gosh, this is amazing, like I definitely want to be in that room, then be in that room. We don't do many things that are invitation only. We encourage your attendance and participation. So if it sounds like a game changer or like it would be of value to you personally or professionally, we want you in the room for that. Anything that you find on the calendar that is available as a Zoom call, you'll always find Zoom information will be featured in the description. Same thing for Google Meet, since that's kind of the same concept. It's just a different platform. And then anything that we're doing in person, you'll also always find that it is specified if it's in person, if it's an opportunity to do either or, that will be shared as well. If you are planning to do an in-person only training, it should tell you right there if you have to register or not. If you do have to register, the link will always be featured. So it is a one-stop shop for you guys as agents. And if you ever have questions, that's okay. And you're welcome to ask me about what you're seeing here, because outside of working with you guys, this is the next biggest thing that I tackle on a day-to-day basis. And then for easier access to this calendar, on the bottom left-hand corner, you guys can click where in blue where it says add to Google Calendar. This will copy all of our information directly onto yours. I will tell you guys, first and foremost, you can hide this calendar after you've copied it. You don't have to look at all of this all the time. That is a promise, because otherwise I'd never tell you to do it. That's a lot to commit to. What I did want to also mention while we are looking at this calendar is that we are officially launching Ignite again. We've decided to stick with the current program. They are rewriting materials that we will be launching officially in July, but we are sticking with our fantastic program, and we are going to run through in May. It starts on Monday, May 4th, 9 to noon. Monday through Friday. There will be a few exceptions throughout the month of May, obviously with holidays or any full day trainings. So those exceptions are marked on the calendar. You'll see where those Ignite sessions are not listed. And I also do send you guys a schedule overview as well to your KW emails when you first get started. And typically what we like to do, obviously this is one of those core kind of classes that I'm glad you guys are able to join me for. We used to do what's called KWB Orientation Week, where we kind of do a class like this. We do a couple other classes and we'd sandwich them so that they fell like Monday through Thursday, and you guys would start Ignite on a Friday. So that way everything kind of fell in congruence and it really worked well for you guys to ramp into Ignite. What we're talking about doing in May is actually making things better for you, taking those classes and cutting them down and kind of sandwiching them so that we're doing maybe a 9 to noon. And then it's not multiple days. It's 9 to noon just one time. You guys get everything that you needed out of that one session. We have not officially added it to the calendar yet because I just need to double check with a couple team members to make sure it works with them. But if we are to do that class officially, I believe it will be held on Thursday, April 30th. So just keep that in the back of your brain. More announcements to come on that. I will not leave you guys in the dark on it. So just keep it in the back of your brain. But yes, calendar here, and then coming back, you'll find that there's a couple recurring events that are mentioned underneath our calendar, like our ALC meetings, team meetings, and Tech Tuesdays. Ironically, all of them happen on Tuesdays. ALC meetings, our Agent Leadership Council represents different committees here at Valentine, and they're always striving to help improve Valentine. So it's a fantastic environment for you guys. So ALC gets together, they have higher level business masterminds and conversations. They take votes on the future decisions of Valentine and what you will see moving forward. And they get together once a month on the third Tuesday of every month at 11. So next Tuesday. If you guys would like to be part of that conversation, you are welcome to sit in on it. We just ask you guys to be observers and allow them to hold the floor, but you're welcome to be in the room. Team meetings are high energy. This room is open in full, and we do tend to pack out those team meetings. We try to always make sure they're valuable for you guys, though, because we know what it means for you to give us an hour of your time. So in our team meetings, we are giving you a little bit, again, pulse on the market center, little snapshot. You're hearing from your BIC associates. You're hearing from your tech coordinators or your marketing specialists, I should say. You're hearing from coaching programs. So you're hearing from a lot of different people, little updates or snapshots, if you will. But we also try to feature, at least for half of the meeting, either a special special guest for you guys, an agent panel, or maybe a deep dive into market stats and numbers. So we try to bring lots of value to those meetings. So again, you guys walk away not only with, okay, great, I know what's coming up in the market center, but I also walked away with something I could implement in my business, which is exciting. So just be aware, team meetings second and fourth Tuesdays at 11 in person and online. And Tech Tuesdays, as I mentioned, every single Tuesday in the afternoons from 1 to 2 in person and online. And please be aware that these focus specifically on your KW technology. So they're surrounding command and used to be DocuSign conversations that will now be transitioning to Lone Wolf conversations. So if you had any prior knowledge of DocuSign based Tech Tuesday classes and when they were on the calendar, just know that those are now going to shift over to Lone Wolf conversations, still with DocuSign Q&A available, because if you guys are using DocuSign, we still want to be able to help answer any questions you are stuck on. But our purpose in the next few weeks is to slowly continue to build on our Lone Wolf education. So you guys are ready for it to go live in the next couple months. We next have our wonderful BIC and BIC associates. So Sabra Romeo is our broker in charge. Tasha and Sharon are her two right hands that hang out here in the office with us. Unfortunately, Sabra's just not physically in the office as often, so it is more rare you'll see her, although she's definitely available to you through phone and email, so please feel free to reach her. But Sharon and Tasha are specifically here actually to help out with that in-office presence for Sabra and to be available for you guys for more administrative questions. I would say these two ladies are equally knowledgeable and they can help out with a lot more of the administrative things for Sabra. But obviously, when things go sideways in my deal and things are legally now a concern, you absolutely should go directly to Sabra. But if not, Tasha and Sharon are the perfect stepping stone for you guys for most questions. And if they don't know the answer, they'll then say, hey, that's better for Sabra. Let's go ahead and include her on this conversation. So just be aware, again, that these wonderful ladies are fantastically knowledgeable, very patient and kind ladies. And we encourage you guys to start building relationships with them. For those of us in person today, Sharon and Tasha's office if we were to walk back to the lobby right now, it's actually on our way to the lobby on our left. So you guys will be passing by their office with some frequency as you're attending trainings just by walking in the building. And then underneath that, because I should also mention, sorry, office hours for those wonderful ladies are listed here. And underneath that, for those of us who have had our license for maybe a little bit of time or just want to have a better idea of what are those renewal requirements, it will specify a lot more information about reciprocity, renewal, CE, how to check your current records. You can find lots of that information posted to our site. Just click on any one of these and it'll give you an actual handout to go with it. What I will tell you as well with this is that if you are a brand newly licensed agent in the state of North Carolina, i.e., my license expires on June 30th, 2026, and I've never renewed it before, you should only have to pay $45. As far as I know, you should only have to pay $45. You should not have to do any additional CE. And then again, I'm also not licensed, so maybe don't always trust my word on things. But you guys can absolutely reference those agreements and handouts if you want to be certain. But as far as I am aware, you should only have to pay $45 that first time. Underneath their information, we do actually reference and highlight the individuals currently serving on our ALC. So if you guys do want to be in contact with any of these wonderful agents, their information is posted. And these, again, are top 20% producers in our office that have voluntarily provided a bit more of their additional time to represent these different committees in Ballantyne and just to help make sure it's a great place to be for you guys. And they are constantly looking for your feedback. So if you guys do ever have any suggestions, things you'd like to see more of, maybe less of, anything is appreciated as long as it's coming from your heart. So just let us know and be in touch with your ALC because they are here to support you guys too. And then we have your productivity coaches. For those of us who are brand new to real estate and do not necessarily have the support of a team, you guys actually get some fantastic pillars of mentorship to kind of help out in those first few weeks, first few months, and actually your first year entirely. So your coach is actually one of the pillars of mentorship that you'll be receiving. Their focus is entirely on helping you guys to build a strong foundation for your business. They're helping you with lead gen. They're helping you keep your pipelines nurtured and full. They're helping you guys understand what is going on in the market and how do I talk about that in a way that relates to my clients. I want to make it seem helpful, not scary, right? So your coach is going to help you guys with that. They're also going to want to get to know you better, so that they can have more conversations with you about your goals, helping you hold accountable to those goals, and making sure that when you guys walk away from that first year, you actually feel like, you know what, like that was a good year. I feel like maybe it's not I reached every single goal I had. Maybe it's I reached a few of them, but man, I learned so much. We want to make sure that you guys have that additional support and you can walk away with that kind of feeling after your first year. I really hope y'all are able to say I reached every single goal I had. And if you're not, you're not. I'm hoping for at least 75 to 80%. After your coaches, and sorry, I should say for getting connected with one of your wonderful coaches, Michelle Amador does reach out to you guys through phone. So she will give you a call. She actually oversees our program here. So she'll give you guys a call, get to know you better, get to know a little bit more about your schedules, your interests, your background, and then she will help to connect you guys with a wonderful coach. And they will meet every single week with you guys. You'll have an opportunity to bond with your coach because of that frequency, but you'll also have an opportunity to bond with other new agents who are going through this with you because you are going to be working with them as well in those meetings. So be aware that you will get connected with a coach, usually within your first week or so of being here. If you have not yet been in contact with Michelle, please let me know because I can help facilitate that connection. Your second pillar of mentorship, again, for my new agents, not yet or not currently, I should say, with a team, we do have T group partners as well. That is your second pillar of mentorship, also known as transaction group partners. And they are going to be contracts and forms experts. So they are going to be very, very, very well aware of how to complete those documents, how to disclose their significance, and how to fill out the information properly to your clients. They're going to make sure that you guys are ready to roll for those transactions by helping you guys to learn the information ahead of when you'll need it. And then another resource that you guys can reach out to in the midst of a transaction, you're like, okay, this one doesn't look like what we talked about in class. Hey, Tasha, shooting you this quick text. I know it's 9 o'clock at night, but if you have 5 minutes for me sometime tomorrow, could you just let me know? I'd love to chat about this. You guys have another stepping stone again that you can reach out to for further support. So again, your T group partner is pouring into you every single week in those intimate group settings again, getting you guys to understand those contracts and forms at a very high level. So be aware that is an email from me that goes to your Keller Williams email address, unless you told me you did not want to use that KW email and you wanted to use your personal. Otherwise, it should be waiting for you in your KW email if you've not already been connected. And again, if you miss that email for any reason, reach out to me. I'll get that connection rolling. But those are going to be great resources. And we've got some more resources at the bottom, all of which can be accessed from up top. So just be aware that we've got some more going on there. FAQ tab to the right of our home tab, guys. This is actually just frequently asked questions. So at any point, if you have a question kind of circulating in your brain, you're like, I have no idea who this question should go to. These are some general questions that we do tend to get fairly often when you guys are first getting settled or at some point in your time here. So hovering over any of these tiles, you don't even have to click on it. It'll tell you who on leadership would be the best contact for that question. So it gives you a little bit better basis of maybe what we all do here. But again, as I've told you before, if you are ever unsure, you can bring questions like that back to me. And if I don't know the answer, I probably at least might know who does. After the FAQ tab, I do like to take a moment to explore on-demand training. I skip over about, that's one that I trust you guys to look at your own time at some point. But on-demand training, this one, it will be a password protected tab. For those of us online, I will read it out to you in just a moment. For those of us in person, imagine on the far left, if there's not a glare for you guys, where you see that whiteboard, where it has the password in the bottom right corner of that whiteboard, the capital B, lowercase AMC. You do all of that minus the exclamation point. Don't include the exclamation point. You want to take that part off, but everything else is that password you're looking for. Online, the password you're looking for is a capital B, lowercase AMC 350. Capital B, lowercase AMC 350. And that's it. And then in the packets that you guys receive from me when we meet together, whether it was digital or physical packets, in that packet, that password is also written. And then the last place, because somebody asked me this earlier, y'all, if you lose track of that password, if you just go to our private Facebook page, it's in the header, like the cover photo, right there. It'll say the website and it'll say the password. So you'll be all taken care of. And if you lose it again, I'm never offended. You're allowed to ask questions. So please reach out to me. But I just wanted to give you guys a couple places you could look for it. But when we hit go after typing in that password, we're going to see two great buttons. One is on demand training, and the second is command on demand. On demand training, if I selected on demand, this takes me to our KW Ballantyne YouTube channel. I like to point that out for a couple of reasons. One, on our YouTube channel, you'll see that we actually have some pretty cool little podcast series going on. I'm not sure if anybody's ever seen it before, but our general manager, Teresa Staker, has been interviewing several different agents with our office. She's also interviewed different team members of ours. She's interviewed lenders. So she's kind of having really good conversations with people. Yes, it is something you may find benefit from as an agent, but if you at all are focusing on building your downline, or maybe you just want to be able to share resource or real estate related things on social media, you guys can share this stuff. It's publicly available. Use it to your benefit. And if you find value in it or think somebody else would, you're welcome to pass it along. But on top of those public videos, we also do some cute little shorts and stuff, kind of recognizing different events that we've had. Again, something else you may want to post at some point, but don't have to by any stretch. Most importantly, though, you guys can find some pre recorded trainings on this page. I specifically like to point this out again, recognizing that not everyone's going to have the same schedule. And we want to make sure that regardless of that, you still are able to access information when you need it. So there are going to be instances where agents strictly like, I just can't make that work because I'm at another job or I'm just unable. There are also going to be situations where life just happens and you have to travel, or maybe you do fall sick, and that's okay too, guys. We want you to be able to bend when life needs you to bend a little bit. And I don't want you stressed about coming to orientation when you've got something much more serious going on in your life. So if that's ever what's going on for you, just be aware that a lot of the recurring trainings, because it's not every training, sadly, recurring trainings like this class, like your Tech Tuesdays, like your marketing masterminds, those classes get recorded and we add them to our YouTube channel. So if you truly deeply miss a class that you really wanted to be at, you can check our YouTube channel and see if it got posted. If you're ever looking for something specific and struggling to find it, some things are marked as unlisted just because we also don't want everyone in the world to get all the information that we're sharing. So if you're looking for something specific, email me. I can send it to you if I have it, or I can specifically get you the link you're looking for. But please, as much as you can, be present for these trainings in person or online live. Please try to. We do not say that to inconvenience you. We say that because there's a lot of value in you guys getting to ask your questions in real time and get clarity on that information. So just be aware, again, lots gets posted here. Reach out to me if you're looking for something specific. But outside of what playlists are specified at the bottom, any trainings outside of what is organized by the type of training, it is not going to be posted here. So again, recurring trainings, and you'll be able to recognize which they are based off of their playlist name. To the right-hand side, command on demand. This one we have looked at together already. This is just another way to connect back to the Scott Leroy Marketing YouTube channel because it's going to have lots of great information available to you. I again point this out because Scott Leroy is so well versed with your technology. It's crazy. When you guys do go on to meet Jules and Leah, you will understand because Jules and Leah actually have a background with Scott Leroy Marketing. Like that's how they learned a lot of this stuff as well. So phenomenal education and trainings. Again, recognizing for those of us who have different schedules, or for any one of us who might be in a position where I'm looking for that timely information and I just can't find a training coming up on that in the next week or two. So be aware this is out here, guys. You can always go on here in the after hours situations and hopefully help troubleshoot or walk your way through learning something. But if you have questions on what you see, again, book those one-on-ones and let us know so we can get you through that hurdle. But lots and lots of great videos, even stuff about just Canva and how those new Canva accounts are working, little things about AI. So even if it's not maybe specifically about Command or DocuSign in the past, you guys can find great stuff. They also, Scott Leroy has newly announced Lone Wolf Transact training. So for those of us who are planning to dive into this new platform, they have trainings posted to their YouTube channel for the Scott Leroy team on how to use the new e-signature platform. After that, just a little bit more Again, helpful reference to those videos and a little more information about Ignite, which we've kind of covered already, guys. So I'm going to take us back up to the top. Office resources, I'm hovering here. I'm not actually going to click on it just yet. I personally just find that several of these items are easier to grab from the drop-down menu, which is why I say that. As we're looking, you're going to find advertising guidelines. Advertising guidelines are posted here. So again, if you guys are working on creating maybe a different website, maybe you chose to make that business card, you're ordering listing signs because you just took your first listing and you're like, I need those signs in the yard. If you guys are looking to reference what you can and cannot have in your marketing, then you are able to reference the advertising guidelines whenever you need to. If you click on that item, it will take you to that page. It will ask you for that same password we just used. So again, that capital B, lowercase AMC 350 is going to come in handy on the next tab as well. But advertising guidelines should specify a lot of information, help give you guys some clarity. For my provisional brokers, again, be checking with our BIC associates to make sure everything's in compliance. Our brokers, you guys get a little bit more freedom. So you're still able to reference those advertising guidelines, though, to establish those parameters. After advertising guidelines, there is access to our phone roster. So that way, as you guys are sitting in class today and you're like, great, like I made a friend, like I didn't get their phone number, which kind of stinks, but I'm really excited. Hopefully, I see them at the next training. I wonder if they're going. You guys can always come back and reference our phone roster. You could pull that agent's phone number and shoot them a quick text and say, hey, so great meeting you in class today. So it's an easy way for you guys to get in touch with a specific agent in our office you may be looking for. Another really cool thing that I mentioned is that a popular communication method for our office is two ways. One is to post on that Facebook group we talked about. Posting on that, again, gets you exposure to everybody on that group, which is great. The other thing is if you're trying to mass communicate something simply, right? I don't want your lives to be insanely complicated. You can reference our phone roster and you guys can actually just kind of Control C, Control V, copy and paste all of those emails, throw them into a composed email. Please BCC everybody if you do that, but throw them all into a composed email, and then that way you can email blast the entire office. We see that happening mostly when agents are taking maybe an office exclusive listing. Maybe they're advertising about needing an open house host so that you could respond to very quickly. Maybe they've got sellers that need to get rid of furniture really quickly before that closing happens. So just things to keep in mind for ways that you might utilize that email blast opportunity. If you guys forget how to do an email blast, but know you want to at some point, email me. I've got step-by-step instructions. But that's a great way to use that phone roster there. There's also a concession request. This is not something I expect you guys to need right away, but in essence, if you ever were to be altering your commission, technically, since Keller Williams Valentine is the initial payee, and we then pay you as our independent contractors, we do need to be aware of any and all commission alterations. They need to be approved of by our BIC. So if you guys said, man, I loved working with these clients, they're so sweet, I think I'm going to be extra nice and maybe I'm going to take their home warranty out of my commission. Like I'll pay for it in my commission. If you guys are changing your commission, we just need to know. So what you would do in that event is you would need to have a concession letter signed by Sabra saying, yes, it is okay for you to be reducing your commission by X value. If in order to get that letter drafted, you guys click concession request and it will take you to a Google form that asks you a series of questions. You will respond to each and every one of those questions. And once that form is submitted, they have everything they need to draft that letter and send it back to you as quickly as possible. So just be aware, again, concession requests. I don't think you guys will need it immediately, but I have seen people ask for it down the line. So this is where we ask everyone to go to get those letters issued. After that is do not call list. That one I do think we are familiar with. It is my second piece of homework for you guys. So my first was to ask you to explore those concierge services with Scott Leroy because I think that will benefit you greatly. The second is actually to go to the do not call list and make sure you guys are registered to access that information. I do not want anybody caught off guard by realizing that they contacted the wrong person because when that happens, unfortunately, you guys are potentially liable for up to thousands in fines and also potentially court time as well. Not either or as well, which is crappy twice. So nobody wants that. If you guys are looking to access that information, we have it conveniently located right here on the office resources. Click Do Not Call List. It will take you through step-by-step instructions on how to access this information. And if you struggle at all with that, Tasha Viney and Sharon Martin are two great resources on how to help you along. Underneath these next few things, I do find are easy to access once we're in the tab. So at this point, I feel comfortable clicking on it. You'll see right away it is going to ask us for that same password we just used. So again, it's capital B, lowercase AMC 350. And then once we've typed that in, it's going to allow us now to go into our Office Resources tab. On the left-hand side, because I believe everybody's North Carolina licensed in this room at least, which is good. If you're South Carolina licensed and online, and I just don't know, I'm so sorry. You can use the right-hand button, but I'm gonna click on the left. If we click on Get Forms, this will take us to a Google Drive folder, guys, that's actually completely comprised of forms unique to KW Ballantyne. Of course, it's going to take a second to load and make me look bad. But this has nothing but forms unique to Ballantyne. So what I tell everybody is you're going to find some great information in here, things you will actually regularly probably be asked for, including septic and sewer documentation. If you're ever working a referral, your W-9 for this office is in there. You'll also find referral agreements are in here, working with real estate agents. We have firm exclusive paperwork, lot disclosures, title company disclosures about who we partnered with. So lots of information you will be asked for specific transactions. Some of which right now, and this is where if we were all still in DocuSign at this exact moment and there was no lone wolf at all, I could tell you confidently all the things. I believe all of these documents have been uploaded to Lone Wolf already for you. If I am mistaken and anything is missing from Lone Wolf, or even in DocuSign, if you're still using DocuSign, that's okay. But if you're realizing that information is missing in either of those resources or either of those platforms, I want you guys to always come back and reference these Google Drive folders because this is going to be chocked full of our Valentine specifics. If you started out in this Google Drive folder and you couldn't find some of the state contracts and forms, that's when you would switch gears and go into your signature platform. You'd go into DocuSign, you'd go into Lone Wolf, you'd find those materials or those forms. So be aware that between this and your e-signature platform, you guys should be able to access all the contracts and forms that you need. If you're looking for something specific, you're always welcome to ask. I will admit to you guys, though, that the only things I can access are these. I do not have all the fancy bells and whistles that you guys get, so I am very unhelpful when you guys ask for forms, unfortunately. But always ask your T group partner, even like ask, hey, is that a form that would be in DocuSign or is that a form that I would find somewhere else? I can tell you. Once we've looked at the forms, be aware that, again, the exact equivalent for South Carolina for anybody getting that license is on the right-hand side. And then in the middle here, we've got office checklist. So if I selected Get Checklists, this will take me to a Google Drive folder dedicated to, surprise, checklists. It's going to have lots of great information that Sabra put together for you guys. I love this section because I think one of the most popular things for you guys as new agents, and you guys can totally shout at me and disagree if I'm wrong, is there's nerves because we don't know quite what we're doing until we've done it, right? So we're nervous, so we don't quite have muscle memory established, and like that can just y'all don't need to like work against yourselves. You should be excited. You should be feeling confident. So that's exactly why we have these checklists in here. We don't want you guys to have those nerves. There's going to be some I cannot fix for you because that's just going to be like deeply buried. I can't fix all of it, but I would like to try and help where I can. Sabra specifically built these checklists because she wanted to help squash that for you guys. So in here, you'll find checklists walking you through contract to close, no matter if it's a North Carolina deal, a South Carolina deal, and then she is walking through every possible responsibility you would have if there's any timetable associated with the task. And you guys could physically print them off and check them off if you're a to-do list kind of guy or girl. I know I am. So I love this. And it's great because it's something that you guys could kind of flip back to and just double check yourselves as you're going through your deal. Did I miss any steps? Let me go back and do that if I did. And then by the time you get to the closing table, you can feel like, wow, okay, whew, all my ducks are in a row. I did it. I got through everything. So she's also, as just an FYI to you guys, Sabre is also updating this information. So when they are changing the processes, because we know they like to make things a little different from time to time, as they change different forms or maybe a different system for any of that process, Sabre updates these and then re-uploads them for you so that you're getting accurate information from the checklist that you're referencing. So be aware again, no matter if it's North or South Carolina, and no matter the side, whether you're buyers or sellers, that information is included in here. So um, be mindful that you guys can access this whenever you may need to. Again, something to reference before it's muscle memory. And then as it starts to sink in, then you won't need them anymore. And that's okay. But for the meantime, definitely something you're welcome to lean into because it's out there for that exact reason. After we look at those two Google Drive folders, we do have access to the CE shop. If I'm being totally honest, this is kind of one of those where it feels a little like out of place as we're going through this page, because normally I would talk about it a little bit later, but I will jump in to look at the actual website itself versus just talking about it. If we click Find Classes, CE Shop, for those of you who don't know, is real estate education. They offer where we are jointly partnered with the CE Shop, so we have a dual branded website with them. And because of our partnership, you guys actually get access to discounts on your real estate education for free. Or not for free. Well, you get the discounts for free. You don't get the whole course for free. I was like, wow, that sounded really misleading. So sorry for that. But when you guys are looking, you guys get to access this information. It's for you guys to use. But my favorite thing is that you can share it with other people. If anybody you know would like to use these discount codes that you have available to you through CE Shop, we also partner with Superior. I'll show you guys those shortly. But anybody who'd like to take advantage, because you've got a neighbor who wants to get into real estate school or your cousin's trying to get licensed, you guys can share this information with them and they do not have to join Valentine at all. Make their day, make their launch into real estate smooth and easy, be that blessing for them, and then give them access to those discount codes, whether it's pre-licensing, also post-licensing, or continuing ed. So again, where it could help out you guys. CE Shop fluctuates their discounts though, so they will vary. Sometimes I've seen them as low as 20% off, but I've seen them as high as 50% off. Right now they're offering 40. It looks like this one is on licensing education. Sometimes it will tell you if it's for any and all courses or if it's for a specific type. You guys can do a quick analysis of packages at a glance. When I scroll to, before I scroll to the bottom, let me reference real quick. You guys can find that this is not just North Carolina. I know Superior is North Carolina. So some people are like, yeah, I love Superior. Some people are like, yeah, I can't do Superior. So just be aware, this is actually a ton of states, a ton. So that can be a really great resource if you are somebody licensed in multiple places. If you're looking to get your license in another state, specifically South Carolina, obviously is the one we see the most. Just be mindful, guys. There is a little free trial here. This is actually pretty unique because it doesn't tend to exist on other sites, but because CE Shop is self-paced, I know that's either a hit or it's a total miss for people. You're either going to do great with it or you might struggle through. And if you've just kind of wondered, like, I wonder if that would be good for me because I think it would work better for my lifestyle, but I just can't be sure that I'd be a good student. You guys can do a free trial. Check it out for a whole week. If you loved it, you can then plug in your credit card info and continue with the course. But if you hated it, you get to walk away and you don't have to pay for any consequence, whether that's in your score or any kind of like hidden fees with that. So just be aware there's free trials out here. It's something you might want to explore with some time if you're dabbling in self-paced right now. Um, at the very, very bottom, this is what I started to go down to. Again, kind of like an oddball little comment, but because we're here and talking about great resources, under Agent Essentials, if we scroll down to Hot Topics, the reason that this is weird is it used to be up top in much larger print. It is now like I look insane to go down here. But if you click on Hot Topics, this takes you to a library full of blogs, books, podcast videos, lots of great content surrounding real estate. I like to point it out because one, again, as the agent, you guys can find value in what you're reading. There might be information relative to you about the market. There might be some things that are lighthearted and just help you stop thinking about the market. Whatever you might be looking for, there's tons of great content out here that I think you guys could absolutely find value in. But the real reason I like to show it to you guys is actually because I know very much, or I should say a lot of our agents are using social media as a primary marketing tool in their business. The reason being it's very, very difficult to have any boundaries to that. I mean, you can, it's almost limitless in a sense through social media, and it's usually very inexpensive to have that kind of outreach. So if you guys are planning to use social media as a platform or a tool in your marketing, I recommend this as a great reference because one of the most important things I know about marketing your business is that you are supposed to keep and maintain an active presence on that social media platform. The other factor is that you're also supposed to be generating kind of diverse content. It shouldn't get boring, it shouldn't feel the same, or the algorithms will hide your stuff. So, one of the cool things here, because eventually there may come a day, maybe I'm wrong, but there might come a time where you guys wake up in the morning and you're like, wow, it's a rainy Thursday and there's absolutely nothing I want to post on my Facebook about real estate today. If you guys are ever in that position because, like, man, the thoughts are just, the creativity's not coming to me today, that's okay. You guys can literally come over here, grab a link, and slap it on your Facebook and call it your post for the day because it was real estate related. It diversified your content, it helped you stay active. You hit kind of all three thresholds and it was informative, so it's driving new traffic to your page. So just be aware that this is kind of that little easy button. You may never need it. I hope you never do because I hope you guys are really gifted with your social media marketing, or I hope that you choose a different route if that's just not something you're interested in at all. But if you are looking for, again, that easy button, this is a great way to hit it at no cost to you. So this is one that I point out. The rest of this page here, again, like this is where it kind of just feels like it's random to do that part, but there's the Valentine floor plan. I will tell you, in 5 years of being here, I've had two people ask me for that. So you guys probably won't need an access to our floor plan, but if you do, I got your back. It's out here on the website. And then after that, we also have numbers to know. This one I think you'll find a little more helpful for those of us who might be working our first referral and we need to know what our federal tax ID number is for this office. Stuff like that gets posted here. So you'll find that we have our federal tax ID offered. If you're ready to get your South Carolina license, you just passed the exam. This is actually kind of funny. You guys will find out, if you didn't already know, South Carolina does everything backwards. So instead, like in North Carolina, you get the license and then you get to choose where you affiliate, right? You're like, okay, cool. Like, let me figure out where I want to go activate this. South Carolina's the opposite. You pass the test and then you sign a form with your big signature saying that that's the firm you're with, and then they give you your license number. See, just those little weird things. But because of that, on that form, you'll need our South Carolina license number. So you can find stuff like that here too. So again, just numbers I would never expect you guys to use often enough to memorize, but numbers that are still helpful to have in your back pocket. So they're just posted right here for you. I will always guide you back to it if you misplace this information. Office calendar, we talked about, makes things really easy. It just takes us right to that section of the page. Under more, we've talked about most of this, so nobody freak out. We are looking mainly at tech resources actually at the top here. I do mention that we will have a prayer request form posted here. This is more of a talking point for me. Of course, you are welcome to fill out that document if you'd like to, but really just as much as you guys do feel comfortable sharing with us, please do share with us about what's going on in your lives. We, above all else, want to make sure that you guys are well taken care of, that you're okay. That's what's most important to us because we operate as a family. So if there's ever anything going on in your life or the life of one of your loved ones, please keep us aware as much as you're comfortable with because we want to be there to support you through it. Whether that's just giving you hugs when we see you in the hall and asking how things are going, or maybe that's having conversations to see if KW Cares, our charitable arm, could step up and help out in any capacity depending on what's going on. So just be mindful of the fact that we do have a prayer request form out there if you guys are feeling a little uncomfortable maybe about having that conversation face to face, and that's okay. But for as much of you that may be comfortable with that, we would appreciate that conversation so we can do right by you and be here for you. There also is a section underneath that called KW Perks. This is actually allowing you guys to search the insurance marketplace at a discount. I will never, ever, ever be able to guarantee any kind of discount. Let me be very clear about that, but you are welcome to search if that's something that's on your radar right now. Maybe we're coming off of mom and dad's insurance, or maybe nope, I just want to figure out insurance now that I work independent contracting and it's not with my employer. KW Perks is a great way to do it. Scheduling a conference room, we already talked about that. Again, easy access to do that. Next is going to be firm exclusive listings for Keller Williams Valentine. Eventually, this should become obsolete because as I understand it, the last conversation was that this information should get integrated into Command, but I don't know that that's happened just yet. But at KW Valentine, a lot of our agents will take firm exclusive listings, meaning they are not in MLS, although I think they're doing some changes with that here. But they're currently or had not been in MLS previously. You would have to have known that this listing existed because otherwise it's being marketed just to our office. It's internal opportunity. So for those of us who might be curious about what's on that list of those firm exclusive listings, this is a live spreadsheet that just documents all of those current listings on market so that you guys have, again, another arsenal of resources, properties you can reference and figure out what might be available for your clients. I usually use the example of like you might work with a buyer that has a very, very unique criteria and you're like, yeah, I don't think we're going to find that, but I'll try. And you've exhausted MLS and you're like, nope, still can't find it. Always come by the firm exclusive listings, reference it, see if maybe that's the only thing you missed. You're good. You're totally good. You're totally good. The next thing is strategic vendor partners. I know not everyone's a Facebook user, and that's okay. So if you are still interested in learning more about who our current vendor partners are, because maybe again, as a new agent, you don't have those resources yet, and that's natural. That's part of it. You're supposed to build that. So lean into who we have. You might not know everybody, and that's okay. That's why we have people. You guys can come over here and check on our spreadsheet. Again, live document that documents all of the vendors in our program. It will specify their industry. The industries are alphabetized here, but they're all listed under their industry. It will tell you who are what team they're with or what company they're with. Our direct contact with that company, their phone numbers and contact information, their services that they offer, and then any websites that might also be associated with their team. So that way, again, one-stop shop. Hopefully you guys could actually even pull multiple quotes right from here to present to your clients. But you'll see that um, as we scroll through, there's going to be a couple that might be more sparse. We might not have anybody listed, and it's not because we hate handymen, I promise you. It's just that currently we don't have anyone participating in the program under that umbrella. So as again, I mentioned earlier, as you guys are meeting vendors that you're like, you are fantastic. Or if it's maybe somebody that's worked on your personal home and you're like, no, they're fantastic. Like I wouldn't use anybody else. Let us know. We'll talk to them all about the opportunities available in the vendor program. You don't have to know any of it. All you guys are asked to do in the event that you'd like to make that connection is email PJ Kennedy, who oversees the vendor program. Email him and CC your vendor on there and let them start having some conversation. Just make that introduction. PJ will then go in and do the legwork for you guys, where he will go ahead and share the details of the program, making it much easier for them to join if they choose to go ahead and do that. But he'll also offer them an office tour. So, really, like he will do the bulk of the work on that for you. You just get to make that connection. If you guys do not know PJ's information, he has business cards right up at the front desk with Miss Sue. So, it's really, really easy to get in contact. And I think that is just about everything. Like I said, live documents. So as new vendors are added, you'll see them in real time. And we do invite our vendor partners to come to some of the Ignite sessions as well. So that way you guys have opportunities to start building relationships, getting to meet them. They come to our team meetings too. So you'll have opportunities to get acquainted. Outfront Magazine is towards the bottom here. This one I also will mention for you guys just because, again, it's kind of that easy button. If you guys are trying to do social media at a high level and struggling at all with it, Outfront Magazine does monthly installments, basically where they outline suggested posts for each day. I like this because I think, again, that helps you guys. I will admit, though, as again, not an agent, I have only used this or maybe even seen it once, maybe twice in 5 years. So I can't remember quite if these post recommendations are like purely copy and paste worthy or if it's more like giving you guys a prompt that inspires you on what to post. But either way, I think that's more than you might have had when you started and something to be appreciated. So lean into these resources if you're ever struggling. And then beyond that, discount codes for real estate education. I know we talked about we partner with CE Shop and Superior. Superior codes can be found using this little bottom button. If we click discount codes, it'll take us where you can access the CE Shop again, and you can access all of our Superior codes. Please note the only reason there's 3 things for Superior is each of them relates to different courses. This is pre-licensing, this is post, and that's continuing ed. CE Shop fluctuates their deals. With Superior, we always have 30% off. So just be aware. Everything else is just things that I've told you guys already about. Marketing help will allow you to book 30 minutes of time to meet for free with Jules and Leah, our tech coordinators in this office. You guys can speak with them about coming up with a custom strategy unique to your business. They'll do that with you guys for free. You can then walk away and be the single implementer of all of that at no charge, of course. But if you did ever want the added leverage where you didn't have the headache and or additional time commitment, you guys can also leverage through Jules and Leah just by partnering with them, asking them a little bit more about their concierge services. But again, please feel free to start booking with them. They teach in the office every Thursday as well, in person and online. So they're a fantastic team to work with and get to know. Tech Help, very similarly, as well as where it says media room training, will allow you to book 30-minute meetings with Rob Miller in relation to your KW technology. Again, in person, online for free. And then the same thing with media room trainings. If you guys want to learn how to use the equipment for that podcast studio, you do it by clicking on that button right there and booking your training sessions. We just in lieu of all of this conversation about Lone Wolf, that also please don't think I didn't share that detail with anybody when we met. Literally, these details came out to us on Tuesday. So I've only had the information for so much. But we are posting everything that we know about Lone Wolf here so that you guys already have easy ways to connect your accounts and start getting some great training under your belts whenever you're ready for it. But this is where you guys can find that information. Again, I think for us as new agents, you guys are actually in a pretty good position because you get to learn this platform from the start. The agents that I'm a little more worried about are my DocuSign friends because they have to export some of their DocuSign stuff out and then re-upload to Lone Wolf. So at least you guys have one less step. That's a win. And then the last thing is, as you've seen up front with Miss Sue, there's usually an agent with her up front, but sometimes you may have popped by and not seen a second agent up there. So that is what we call call time. We offer call time shifts where you guys can actually, they're 3-hour shifts. You guys can reserve a 3-hour slot basically and go sit up front with Miss Sue at the front desk. You guys, if you are dual career and you can work remote, you guys can bring your laptop and like you could sit up there on your laptop. If you wanted to just be working on something else real estate related while you were sitting there in between phone calls, that's fine too. But going up and sitting at the call time desk, the reason we bring this up is because one, it gives you guys a great opportunity to meet other people in the office. It gives you a great opportunity to get to know where things are and how things operate just by being in the office and experiencing it firsthand. And then thirdly, and most important probably for you guys, is you guys get to take any leads that come into the market center. You guys get to make them yours when you're on call time. So if we have somebody call in saying, hey, I just moved to Charlotte, I'm looking for a great agent, I saw Valentine's really reputable in the area, is there somebody that I should be working with? You get to say, I'm that person. And then you guys get to take that lead and start working it. So it's a great way for you guys to get free leads. A lot of times you'll actually hear that several agents has started out that way. That was their first deal. It came from call time. We've had people walk off the elevator as like $1 million cash buyers saying like, I just need somebody to help. And we're like, oh, okay, we'll figure it out. So just be aware that like it's a really, really great opportunity for several reasons. And it's really easy as well. You guys, there's 3 different shifts you can do any given day. 5 days a week. There's an 8:30 to 11:30, 11:30 to 2:30, 2:30 to 5:30. And then the other cool thing is that you also have the option of doing call time on weekends where we'll have our phones diverted to you for the weekend. And any calls that come through go direct to you. You'll get a copy of our phone roster so you can, relay calls if they're not actually meant for you and need to go somewhere else. But otherwise, you guys would be able to take those leads for that kind of 48-hour period. So keep that in mind. To book your shifts, you guys can click on that white button and start adding yourselves to the calendar. I would recommend that you guys talk to Sue up front. She does teach a class on the basics of call time, so that way you guys know what to expect. She offers that on the first Monday of every month. So actually the same day you guys are coming in for Ignite, you would be able to stay for 30 minutes and listen to that conversation with her. But if that's not going to work for your schedule, and since you guys are here, go stop at the front desk and chat with her about it because she'd love to share more and she would love for you guys to start being part of that rotation whenever you're ready. So be aware, great way for you guys to stay in the office, hang out with us, hang out with Sue. That's never a bad time either. And that really kind of puts a little bow on everything I would go over today, which I know probably still felt like a lot and I'm sorry. But as a positive, my best recommendation for you guys is one, first, as a positive, you guys learned something, I bet, at least one thing. And then the thing that I would recommend for you guys to kind of make this all sink in and not feel so overwhelming, sometime over this weekend or next weekend, if you don't want to, just go back to KWB resources and start clicking through different things and see if you can kind of recall what we talked about and where things go and explore. If you get stuck or you can't find something that you're looking for, reach out to me. I'm not offended. This was a 1 hour class. I look at this website every day. So, like, it's okay if you guys have questions on what you see. Please ask them and don't be afraid. I also will have a wonderful recording from today that will get uploaded as well to our YouTube channel that I can send over to anybody too. So, with that being said, I have officially wrapped things up. But before I dismiss you guys, I just want to make sure, how did we feel? Do we have any questions? Talk fast so I can go back to something if you want. Anybody feel like they've got something they'd like to discuss before going about their weekend? Yes, ma'am. Mhm. Yep. Yes. So in-person Ignite for based strictly out of this office will begin in May, but you are absolutely right. For Ignite After Dark Dual Career, that just launched this past Tuesday. So that one, they just did session one. I think they're starting session two, maybe session three, depending on what they were able to cover on Tuesday, next Tuesday. So anybody else have any questions? And if somebody is curious about Ignite After Dark that didn't already have that info, please email me. I will send you everything you need. But any other questions, concerns, comments of any kind? Okay, well, it's Friday and it's gorgeous outside. Go, go, go be free.